Hey guys, it's Liz. Welcome back to another dim sum video. In today's video, we're making 3 different types of vegan rice noodle rolls. The first one is a char siu or roast barbecue pork kind of rice noodle roll. The second one is a prawn rice noodle roll, and this used to be my favorite as a kid. And then the last one is plain rice noodle rolls. This is called Cheung Fun, and it is super popular at dim sum or as a street food in Hong Kong and even Malaysia. This video is brought to you by LAMYONG Australia, and I'll put a link below in the description box to their fabulous vegan products. So before we begin this recipe, I'm soaking 2 cotton steamer cloths in some cold water. We're going to prepare these in a second. But first, let's make our rice noodle batter. We're going to use some rice flour, some tapioca flour, some cornstarch or potato flour would work as well, some oil and some water. You want to mix this all together until you get a smooth, silky, milky batter. We're also going to make a diluted batter, you'll see why in a second, with 3 tablespoons of the noodle batter and 5 tablespoons of water. So now we have to prepare the steamer cloths, and you need a tray with holes. Mine is a pizza tray because that's all I could find. And you want to lay out 1 steamer cloth onto the tray. And I'm going to use a butter knife to help stretch this out because using your hands gets really hot and you will burn yourself, as I have done a few times. You want to ladle that diluted liquid we just made onto your first steamer cloth, and this is going to help seal any little holes in the cotton cloth. Then we're going to lay our second piece of material on top just to sandwich it up and soak in some of that mixture as well. Use your butter knife again to help spread it flat so that a lot of the liquid can go into the second cloth. Steam for 5 minutes, and then afterwards we're going to submerge it in some cold water, and we're ready to steam. Now to steam the actual rice rolls, just take 1 steamer cloth. You're going to spread it out with your trusty butter knife again. Make it very, very flat as you can. That is the aim of the game. We will now proceed to ladle our actual noodle batter onto the steamer cloth and make as thin a layer as you can, covering all the gaps. Don't worry if you don't have a steamer cloth or a holy tray. I'll go through another method that you can use later. This is just the authentic method to making Cheung Fun. I'm just using some chopped up SAYUR roast pork. I'll link that in the description box below, with some spring onion on the top and bottom, and then we're going to steam that for about 5 minutes. Now to oil a bench. Oil a bench good because we need to be working on a slippery surface. You want to place your steamed rice noodle face down, still attached to the steamer cloth, onto your oiled space, and then we're going to very carefully, very slowly peel the cloth away from the rice noodle, revealing our beautiful thin rice noodle sheet. Again, using our delicate hands of angel touch, we will fold our rice noodles in towards each other, wrapping the char siu in towards the middle and then just rolling it onto itself to form this rice noodle. Let's go again. This, as I said before, is the traditional way they would have steamed it, and they still do steam it as a street food on the streets of Hong Kong. It makes the rice noodles a lot thinner, a lot quicker to cook, and it's kind of cool. Don't you think? I think it's cool. But if you don't have all the things to do it this way, you can just as easily use a cake pan. I'm using the base of a cake pan, a square one. You can use a round one, whatever. And you just want to coat it in a very, very thin layer of oil so it doesn't stick. Ladle in your Cheung Fun batter, and we want to keep the layer as thin as we can, which is sometimes kind of hard with a metal pan because sometimes it's got lumps and bumps in it. So I just like to shake my steamer around just to kind of spread the mixture a little bit. Steam for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes I'm just going to run my butter knife around the edge to release it. And there are so many different types of Cheung Fun. This is going to be a plain one without any filling, and it's going to be served with a different sauce. Just roll it up, cut it into thirds, we'll plate it up, and I will show you how to make the sauce soon. To reuse the pan, you just want to wipe it down with a wet cloth and then cover it with another thin layer of oil, and you're good to keep steaming until your batter runs out. Now I'm going to show you how to make a very popular different kind of Cheung Fun called har cheong, which is a prawn rice noodle fold. I'm using the LAMYONG vegan prawns. These are just so good. I'm also just using a circle cake pan just to show you that you don't need any fancy equipment, just the base of a normal round springform pan works just as good. And I'm folding this hachong in a special way to let the kind of prawn color shine through the noodle so you can see some of that orange. Cutting it in half and plating it up. Now let's make some yummy sauce for all our rice noodles. So the soy sauce that is usually served with hachong or Cheung Fun is so good. It's a little bit sweeter than your regular soy sauce. So let us make this glorious sauce. You're going to start with some sugar. I used a tablespoon. I'm using mushroom flavored dark soy sauce. It's going to be a little bit darker than the restaurant soy sauce just because we are not diluting it too much. We are still going to dilute it though. I'm starting off with some warm water as well, just so the sugar will dissolve a bit easier. Let's start with 2 tablespoons. And I'm also going to add a touch, just a tiny little dab of sesame oil. A 1/4 teaspoon will do. So we're going to mix that up first, and then I'm going to add a little bit more water just to dilute it a bit more. I'm also just going to dilute some hoisin sauce just to make it more drizzly so that we can drizzle it on some of our rice noodles. And then we're also going to make a peanut butter sauce. There's no real measurements for this, but you just want to start with a little bit of water at a time with the peanut butter because it's really hard to mix in. But as you keep going, just add a little bit more water and get it all nice and silky smooth. I also like to add a dash of the mushroom flavored dark soy sauce just to give it a little bit more depth and color as well. So let's plate up. This is the prawn rice noodle rolls. I just like to put the sweet soy sauce on top because this is how I ate it as a child. Put whatever you like on top, but I'm not gonna do anything weird because I just can't do it. My childhood. But let's make the char siu one a little bit more fancy. Let's ladle that sweet soy sauce on the top of our rice noodles and sprinkle with some crunchy fried shallots and some fresh spring onions. Doesn't that look so good? Finally, let us not underestimate the deliciousness of plain rice noodle rolls. We're going to drizzle it in that hoisin sauce, that delicious peanut buttery goodness, and then we're going to top it off with some chopped spring onions. You can actually fry off these rice rolls as soon as they're out of the steamer to give it some amazing texture, but we're just going to keep it really fresh today. Now, the most important bit is that we're going to serve these rice noodle rolls with the extra sauce that it needs, nay deserves, on the side, so that you can have the best rice noodle roll eating experience with all the sauce. Just look at those layers. I'm having a great time already. So this was traditional Cheung Fun made in the yum cha style. You can even make plain like Cheung Fun rice noodle sheets and wrap it around these Chinese donut breadsticks called GWEI, which you can find at your local Chinese grocer. This is also very delicious and I highly recommend. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys all in another video. See you soon. Bye.